This is a breaking news report. War has begun. Russia is sending its forces into Ukraine. They are crossing the border from Belarus, from Russia. Ukraine is being invaded right now. Currently, there are at least 17 regions under attack. Ukraine is being under attack. This video that just came recently shows Kiev, the capital city of Ukraine, in sirens. People are in panic. They understand that they are in a state of war right now, and reports from Ukraine say that it is believed that hundreds of Ukrainian soldiers are dead by now. Ukraine also reports that it shot down at least 3 Russian fighter jets and a helicopter. So it is escalating very, very quickly, and we are going to hear more and more reports, but I do want to ask you, please pray for Ukraine. Pray for the Ukrainian people. They have relied all these years on the West, and they stood up to Russia. They stood up to Putin that has tried to influence the Soviet satellite countries. So this is the money time. Ukraine is expecting the West to show its support for being loyal to the West all this time. Now you have to understand Putin's mindset. What does Putin want? Basically, Russia is the biggest country in the world, geographically speaking. Google this. So why does Putin need more land and more Ukrainian land? Now, in his bigger dream, he wants to re-establish the Soviet Union 2.0, if you will. That's his number one goal. He sees that ever since the Soviet Union has collapsed, these Eastern countries are not doing well according to him, and he wants to revive the Soviet idea. And obviously seeing how China is doing with under a communist regime, so that's what he wants. But on a smaller scale of what's happening right now, Putin has nothing to lose at this point. This is why he declared war, and this is why war is undergoing right now, because Putin is demanding that Ukraine will not join the NATO agreement that basically would allow Western forces to base themselves militarily in Ukraine on the border with Russia. And Russia used to enjoy the fact that Ukraine separated. Ukraine was a country that separated the NATO countries, the West, and Russia. So now that Ukraine wants to join the NATO agreement, Putin is really not happy about it and threatening war days ago. So if Putin gets what he demands, Ukraine will not join the NATO agreement, and he'll be happy, but that's not enough. And if Putin does not get what he wants, he will simply get more land. Donbas and Donetsk, as he did with Crimea, nobody said anything when Russia took over Crimea. For the reason he did it was for strategic purposes, because Crimea is a very strategic location that oversees what's happening, what's entering and exiting the Black Sea. So he took over that, swallowed Ukrainian land. So right now, Ukrainian land is under attack, and we need to show our support to the Ukrainian people more than ever. We are seeing a lot of reports, a lot of people who claim to understand and are calling no to war with Russia. And first of all, you have to understand that it is Russia that's starting a war, not Ukraine, not anybody else. But Putin is telling his citizens in Russia that he's simply defending Russian civilians who are under Ukrainian attack. How does he do that? A very smart and sneaky way. He basically gives for free citizenships to people in these disputed areas in Donetsk and Donbas, and then he claims that he has to defend and protect Russian civilians who live basically in Ukrainian territory, and he basically portrays it as Russians being threatened by Ukraine, and he sends forces to these regions because he needs to defend them. That's how he justifies this kind of aggression to the Russian public. Now, obviously, Putin has not been doing well in Russia. He does not have a lot of real support. And what dictators do when they need to divert the attention from them, they start a war. They create an enemy and tell their public that they need to save the Russian nation from this enemy. This is basically how these stories being portrayed on Russian television. But even more than that, China is watching, Iran is watching. They are seeing how the West is handling this conflict, this situation. So right now, the reaction that will come from the West will determine the results of this war, because this could escalate into the biggest war since 1945. So this could really be the beginning of the end for the West, because we're seeing a rise in the East with China, Russia, that are trying to topple the current superpower, the United States. So if Biden, the Biden administration, if they will not stand strong, if the United States will not slap Putin back for his aggression, then Putin will go ahead and proceed with more aggression. So right now, the West needs to show unity against this kind of aggression, more crippling sanctions and military threat that perhaps should be exercised in the right time, because Putin believes that Biden will do nothing. Putin believes that the West will do nothing. And China is watching. They will then swallow Taiwan. They will then proceed with more military aggression. They are right now building artificial islands. So it's really not just about Ukraine and Russia. It's also back to the Middle East, that Iran is seeing this and keeps advancing its nuclear program, enriching uranium, basing itself militarily in Syria, in Lebanon, because they plan on attacking Israel. So it all ties up together. All the dots are connecting. I will keep you updated, but please pray for Ukraine. They need us more than ever.